Welcome to the hospitality people. In today's episode, we take a dive into the inspiring journey of the true hospitality trailblazer, Alper Zan. From pouring his first drink as a 16-year-old bartender to earning the prestigious title of Restaurant Manager of the Year in 2014, Alper's story is one of grit, growth, and relentless passion for service. His career has spanned a rich tapestry of roles across the hospitality landscape, each one sharpening his leadership and deepening his understanding of what makes a guest experience truly unforgettable. But Alper's love for hospitality didn't start in the boardroom. It began in the warmth of his grandparents' kitchen. Their stories, traditions, and unwavering commitment to generosity laid the foundation for a career built on heart and excellence. Now a proud fellow of the Institute of Hospitality, Alper continues to champion the industry, not just through accolades, but by embracing innovation. We'll explore how he navigates the tension between traditional service values and the rise of technology, and how he's helping redefine the future of hospitality through the Bye Circle business model. We'll also touch on the human side of leadership, how Alper balances the demands of high-performance career with personal well-being. So grab a coffee, settle in, and get ready to be inspired by a story that proves that hospitality isn't just a job, it's a calling. So hi Alper, welcome to the third podcast for the hospitality people. It's a pleasure having you here. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Typical autumn weather in London, so not doing too bad. Thank you.
That's good. That's good. So we are, as you know, we have a couple of questions for you where we will discuss your journey, how you have come to where you are at from where you started. I have already explained to the clients a bit about where you started from, the little background story, how you were influenced to get into the hospitality industry. We shall go forward and learn more about why did you specifically choose the hospitality industry and not any other profession. So quickly, we'll start with the first question, and then we'll take the conversation where it goes and takes us. So my first question to you, Alper, will be, at any point of time, did you ever consider leaving the hospitality industry? And if you did, what brought you back to it?
Wow. I'll start with my philosophy. I always say hospitality is a way of life, not just a job. That has been my philosophy from day one. 30 years accounting.
Okay.
That's been pretty much my way of life. I guess I was the lucky ones. I always knew this was the industry for me,
Okay.
which we all know. Sometimes you fall into hospitality industry as a pit stop. You realize you spent all your career in life. I was the opposite group. I always know I wanted to be in hospitality with people. And I think there were moments when the weight of the challenge and operational challenges and difficult environments made me question about my place, but it was never about the job or the industry I was doing. Hospitality isn't just a profession; it's a calling, and what always brought me back was the human connecting, simply put, and the ability to transform someone's day through the service. It's like adrenaline, dopamine. You can't get enough. And the privilege of building the teams that thrive, it gives you a buzz because no day is same.
True. Very true. Very true. And did you ever at any point with all the stress, I'm sure you've got through a lot of stress, the position you are handling so many people, you have been pioneering a lot of new concepts to hospitality. At any point, was it where you just, one day you got up and you were like, I'm done with this. I just can't do it anymore. But then you got, as you said, just for the dopamine release, the adrenaline rush, you got back to it. So any instance where you could recall that one point where it just put you down?
I think because I was accepting the hospitality, not just the job. So I was looking at the whatever the challenges comes in. I was trying to come up with a solution and thinking, okay, I've learned another thing, because my aim not just the accept the job and do it just average, the job. I wanted to beat the average. So to be able to grow and to beat the average, you need to put yourself in the comfort zone. And I know from the early days, when I'm in my comfort zone, I'm not progressing, I'm not learning. And hospitality gives you all that in bundles.
Right,
Not many industries can prepare and build your character. And when you are 15 and 16, the kitchen porter role you'll do in the pub, and that small, simple, the responsibility and accountability people they give you, it's prepare you for for the future. And yeah, I don't think I ever felt that this job, that I had enough with this job, or the industry. It was the case of, okay, I couldn't come up with a solution. What do I need to do differently? Um, and when you're passionate and you in love with what you are doing, you're possessed. You don't stop until you figure out and become a better version of yourself. And that's the part that you don't have to be perfect to work in hospitality. You don't have to be the particular person or character.
right,
Just
right,
you need to have the people personality. You can be extrovert, you can be introvert. It doesn't matter.
right,
Engaging with people hasn't got single formula. So
right.
as long as you understand that, and some of the things you appreciate later, you don't have to know everything now or today.
Very true, very true. So you just mentioned that at the age of 15, 16, you got into the hospitality industry. I'm sure you've gone through the whole hierarchy of the kitchen, front of house, back of house, service, dishwashing, everything. Which role did you get to learn the most from? Which really, gave you like a an insight to what life would be if you would call it a role, like maybe when you were in front of house, the demanding clients, or maybe when you were a commie one, commie two doing the work. Where did you find it the most thrilling role in your job, and how it prepared you for, the hospitality industry, that particular role?
One part of the hospitality industry is, whichever the role you do, it will challenges you, regardless how big role it is. So when you are a bartender, you will get wave of people, they are waiting to be served. Or if you're
Right,
a restaurant, you got a section, suddenly imagine your section is full. And pretty much every single moment, it challenges you. Basically, it tests and builds your resilience. Because
true,
as you grow with the hospitality, when you're the restaurant manager, suddenly, the one of your team members calls sick. You can't
right,
tell the guest to say, please go today and come back tomorrow when I've got the full team. You don't have that
right,
option.
right,
You're in the live show, you have to come up with the solution and you have to get through. So
right,
I always shared with the people, you always memorize and cherish the memories you had, when you are working with your colleagues and family and friends. And you talk about, do you remember that Saturday we were three people down, we get through the evening
right,
shifts and everybody jumped hands on, helped one another. You never
right,
ever talk or get pride telling people how perfectly you managed the shift and everything was smooth and normal. You'll never talk about it. You
right,
always talk about what was the challenge. And this is what bonds you with your team in a meaningful way, because like I say to you, you don't have an option to send back the guests. They are
right,
there. You
right,
have to make their day, you have to deliver your standards, and
right.
you take ownership. So whether you are in within that team, it doesn't matter
Yeah,
what your role, you always contribute to make sure the guest they had the, the perfect or the best possible, the service, and you contributed to it.
Right, right. Great. Would you also say that running a restaurant or the hospitality sector is something like theater where the show must go on irrespective of the circumstances?
Um, well, absolutely. You have to be the showman and showwoman because you're in the live theater, right? It's
Right,
not recorded. Everything happens
right,
live.
right.
So when you are literally in the restaurants with your guest, you will have that persona of, it's like a swan Terry. You look calm and
Okay,
cool outside.
right,
Underneath the water, your
right,
legs goes like 100
right,
miles an hour, and
right,
literally you cross the door off to go into the kitchen. The
right,
at peak time, the
right,
intense, and you're just trying to tap and base in touch with all your team and the guests, making sure everybody's okay and jump in where the your expertise or the help is required. Sometimes mentally and sometimes
right,
physically.
right,
So ability to have that ownership or that like an orchestra, you are a conductor.
right, right. Very
Yeah.
true, very true. So from all this chaos which you have mentioned, there is, as you mentioned, once you open the doors to go to the kitchen, there is utter chaos at peak times. You're shuffling through it. So how do you recharge from this emotionally demanding day? And what
Yeah.
skill is it, which gets you keep pushing you forward and it keeps you going every day?
Something is never took away, whether you are, a waiter, whether you are, the housekeeper, whether you are F&B director, it doesn't matter what it is, what you do. One of the common things brings people together that when you work in that environment, it's important to have a fun
Right,
because regardless of the stress, if you enjoying what you are doing and pretty much if you wave that wipe to your team, if your team sees you, you relax, enjoying what you're doing, they're going to feel comfortable,
right,
regardless of the challenges and everything. It's
right,
all about, the remembering that doing the job, with the smile on your face, because
mm,
you are a volunteer. Nobody forced you to be there. So
right.
this is, it's been one of the, the secret weapon that
Okay,
put your smiley face on because you're on the show, and
right,
you do know that session will pass. It's all about what you can be able to do to make the best out of it. And literally, when you passing by, the guest or the team, you'll read the body language. You'll know exactly what's going on, and to have that environment and be part of it day in day out, and connecting with the people. It's such an important thing to carry over.
right,
And I always found I lean to structure and reflection. And I assess that, the work, what did work, what didn't work. And I showed up how I showed up for my team.
right,
And when I disconnect, I love running 10, 15 kilometers. I run every week for like 25 years. It's my happy place. If I'm on holiday, I'll get my bottles and I practice on the grass or by the beach or wherever I am with my bottles doing my 20 years old routine, flair
okay.
cocktail bartending,
Oh,
and
nice.
exercise once a week. And apart from run, I love cooking for my friends and family and creating memories because that's what I take from hospitality. It's all about creating memories
Right,
and quick city trips. I genuinely I love because simply just walking through the busy streets, observing people going different places, to interact with them. This is where I find the inspiration, live
okay.
inspiration. It's going on around you.
Right,
Um,
right. Very true. It's all around you. Very, very well said. Now that we know that you have frontiered, not I wouldn't say frontiered, but led a lot of organizations like the Pizza Express. You led it for one bit. Now you're leading the Y by Circle. So you have made a lot of very bold movements in the hospitality industry. So,
Mhm.
any bold idea you have had for the hospitality industry that no one's dared to try out yet?
Um, Personally, I'm a visionary person. So I always think about what does it look like, the hospitality in 5, 10 years time. And don't get me wrong, I had a great joy of experience the industrial era of hospitality, and
Right,
what we are doing right now is completely
right,
two different, um, let's say, a cuisine, if you like.
right.
It's 180 degree, the separation between them. And
Absolutely.
I always think about a fully decentralized staffing model, the powered by, the NFC. And imagine, I'm going to link with, the what we are doing now, but an app-based engagement. So
Right,
where freelancers can monetize their time and skills on demand without traditional scheduling, the constraints. Um, it's not just tech forward, it's people first, because everything, that we do should be by free will. We are no longer in the industrial, the era. We all
right,
volunteers.
right,
Volunteering for what we love is future of work. So for me, is the how can you be able to bring hospitality to digital era?
right,
Ability to do digital hospitality, because
right.
I know it's crazy. It may sound, but digital world requires also hospitality as well.
Definitely,
So it's
definitely.
not about the SEOs writing the right keywords, right?
Right,
It's the understanding of hospitality concepts and how you can be able to digitalize it, and the making it personal for
right,
people, because this is the platform, or the current trend where people lives more than half of their life. So you
right,
cannot ignore the fact
right,
that you need to come up also address out the digital world with hospitality concept. That's why I would
right.
say no one's there to try yet, but it's going to be inevitable.
True, true. So now that we have spoken about, like you said, you have been through the whole timeline of the, development of technology, how it's commercialized. You've been long enough in the game. So how do you
Yeah,
balance tradition with disruption in guest experience, especially as technology is so rapidly evolving?
I think something always will retain with me. Hospitality always and will be about human connection,
Right,
directly or indirectly. So
right,
by honoring the emotional core in hospital, the of hospitality, which is the warmth, trust, and care. So how can you apply this, while reimagining the delivery? So
right,
as long as the emotional core of hospitality about the care, trust, and the warmth, it's engaged and applied, it doesn't matter how you deliver it.
right,
So disruption should never feel cold. It should feel like evolution with heart. That's what I'm saying.
right,
So whatever we're doing, we have to involve the element of the heart, because hospitality, it's not an AI, it's not a robot. It has to start, the point, bring the strategy and the heart together.
right, right,
Absolutely. So using the technology for guest demands,
right,
very, very important, because not necessarily everybody wants fine dining service all the time. Sometimes they want to experience something different. Therefore, hospitality change and needs to evolve. Hospitality is sometimes about speed of service.
right,
Hospitality sometimes, uh, the anticipating guest needs,
right,
and almost like if the couple walks to your restaurant and you want to be able to put them in a table environment that it's going to enhance the romantic environment, not
right,
by the speaker, not group of people celebrating. And so
right,
this kind of, the understanding and anticipating guest needs, it's really, really important. So I think that has to be fundamental.
right. So now that we have spoken a little bit about how technology is taking over every aspect of the globe, in fact, not just hospitality. And you are actively pioneering right up in front with the introduction of a YY Circle. So, with you reshaping the workforce management, what's one fix? What one fix is there that could, create the biggest ripple effect for positive change?
I think we live in the world of full data and information. Therefore, as I understand, our guests and the team's expectations and demands much higher.
Right,
I do believe as a human being, we need the help to be able to match that demand, because everybody knows everything now. And thanks to technology, we can connect all the world of cuisine, of food, services together.
right,
And only you will have that ability when people become more diverse,
right,
and travel is much easier now. And sometime, the couple of decades ago, travel, it wasn't that easy. So the people, they stick into within the community, what they have.
right,
Now community has become diverse experience. The thinking about the food courts, when you go in, you
right.
can see the whole world cuisine in one place.
Yes,
And there were a time also, in community, you open a restaurant and
right,
they don't look at the social media. They wanted to come in and ask, when they arrived at the restaurant, is Kevin working today? Because
right,
that was the community of the hospitality defined by Kevin.
right.
Is the person who's going to serve them, they feel comfortable, safe, they're going to be
Very
looked
well.
after. So
Right,
with that in mind, we need to be able to understand and how the world evolves.
right,
Therefore, when you figure out, in terms of the team members and the guest demands,
right,
we can be able to apply. So the future of the workforce is going to be much more diverse. And simply put, I give you an example. A couple of decades ago, when you come out from, let's say you are a fresh student and you jump in from the university, you wanted to work. While you are studying, you go to one particular place, one particular brand and concept, and you work and you gain your experience from one place only, or from one concept only. With the on-demand workforce, people, they want a variety. And imagine they have opportunity to be able to work in the branded hotels, branded restaurants,
right,
before they become a leader, and they
right,
have this experience and opportunity to tap into that, what the best of both worlds. And sometimes community small restaurants, or can be, let's say, Starbucks. So each
right,
of them, they can experience. So this can only be better thing for the person, because you gain much more experience in very, very early age, in your career, or early stage. And that's fantastic.
right,
That's how you grow. And the quickly, and thanks to hospitality industry, you can be able to progress in your career much faster
right,
than any industry, and financially you can make more money than most industries.
right,
And that's proven, because if you look back, financial crisis, pandemic, the first industry always stand back up and helps the growth of the any countries is hospitality, because people
very
have
true,
to eat and drink. So
very true,
some of the industries can wait, they're not priority, but
right,
that's what is proven. And that's why YY Circle can help the future, the workforce, to be on demand, to have the put people's first.
right,
And some people, they would like to, in industrial era, you used to, you know go into a company and work and retire,
right,
and that's not exist anymore.
right, right. So today's world,
It's
people work till the time they can, and they're more than happy to do it. There's no capping of age because of age limit. So YY Circle, as you said, give them a platform to continue doing what they love, and be
absolutely.
discovered.
And
So,
isn't it right, work or the job should be there for you? You don't live
right,
for work, you work to live.
Very true. Very well said. Very, very well said. So they should be, and it's really a nice platform after hearing it from you, reading about it. That yes, it's giving a lot of opportunity to a lot of people. You know, where they might not ever have thought to work, maybe, but because of
Mhm.
the platform that you have created, they now options are not only limited to the area, to the location, but it goes over and above as well, so they can also explore the places. Also, you mentioned in your previous answer that when we go to a restaurant, we want the person to serve us. Yes, I am a person like that, you know. I like to go to a restaurant and I'd like my server who's been doing it for years because he just knows what I want, how I want it. You know, that convenience, that element which you talked about uh, is very, very evident in the hospitality industry and will need, you know, things like that need to remain there still. So,
Yeah.
in regards to that, what human element of service do you believe will remain irreplaceable, no matter how advanced technology is pushed forward?
I think it depends on the, when we talk about hospitality, is such a, the huge industry when you break it down. And you got, when you talk about the hospitality, let's, talk about restaurants. You got community eateries, which goes back to two, three generation. You have QSR, you got event and catering,
Right,
the experience part of hospitality, or, and you have kiosks, which you will
right,
go. Sometimes you go to table service
right,
restaurants because that's the environment you wanted to have memory with.
right,
So there is so wide hospitality. It's always creates within the culture.
right,
Hospitality starts with the community of culture because
right,
food and drinks brings people together because they've got something to talk about or
right,
engage. So that
right,
human connection is never gonna go away. So either I'm working in the bank, I've got a half an hour break, I jump down, I want to grab a sandwich, and that sandwich moment with my friend or on my own or with a group of people is the connection moments that what I eat.
right.
Equally, sometimes you are traveling, you don't want three-course meal, you just want, the pit stop, get what you need and go.
Out.
And
Right.
so therefore, regardless what you would do, it always comes down to the people, a culture, because culture breeds the hospitality.
True. True. Very
And
true.
that's what, that's what is going to remain same. Communities, the countries, the cuisines, is going to bring
Right.
people together, and that's going to
Right.
create the hospitality, what we know today. And if you look back 50 years ago, food and drink and the moments of memories brings people together, and
Definitely.
hospitality was back then exactly the same.
Right.
So now you are tap into your QR code, ordering the food and everything else, but regardless how you deliver it, still you are in one place, in one space, you are engaging with your loved ones
Right.
or by
Right.
yourself. In that moment, food and drink and hospitality brings you together. This element is never going to go away. And that's even earlier on we talked about digital hospitality. What does it look
Right.
like? Bring
Right.
hospitality in a digital world.
Right. Right. So staying on the point of hospitality needing a lot of is based on a lot of emotion, sympathy, empathy. How do you coach empathy in in this fast-paced, highly pressurized environment? And how do you know when someone has, you know, truly caught the hospitality spirit?
I think a lot of people talk about how do you coach the empathy, and suddenly the last probably decade we talk about empathy, because I can promise you 20, 30 years ago this word wasn't in our training guides or so on,
Right.
because it
Right.
was different era.
Right.
And when you look at it, sometimes I feel we overthink about empathy. Empathy starts with the modeling through your character and values. Simple as that. It's about your character, values, and your life experience, because
Right.
they are your experiences drives you to connect and communicate with the person in front of you.
Right.
Yes or no?
Right. Right. True.
So, however, your family, the values you have been seen, or and however the life experiences you have, you build some shape or form of character. This defines your connection of empathy level, or your
Right.
understanding scope regarding empathy based around that. So it often happens organically in terms of,
Okay.
the how do you coach. The empathy is who you are. So when people feel seen, they extend the same care to others, right?
True. True.
So
Very true.
I connect with you through my personality and character, and the reflection of empathy, it will be based on my values and the life experiences. Now we
Right.
will live in a very diverse world. We experience in different shape, size, meaning of the empathy, because, like I said to you before, the people's demand, life standard, data knowledge, guest, it's much higher than before. Therefore,
Right.
your empathy can be defined in one single world. So,
Right.
regardless who you are, it's gonna comes down to you based around your character, values, and the life experiences. So it comes organically. If you wanted to coach somebody, just let them to be who they are, because that will be always their go-to place. When
Right.
they are cornered, when they are dealing with the situation, positive or negative, empathy
Right.
always is gonna come from their character.
True. True. That, yes, it's the core, it's the foundation of their character, which you just have to
Yeah.
identify, maybe shape it or guide them. But you cannot, I do understand when you say you cannot coach them something which they need to develop themselves. But okay.
And I think
Uh,
now we've got so much experiences. If you're not being wired with somebody with the empathy, and we're talking about going to discovery insight profiles, it
right.
defines you. You are red, blue, green, yellow.
Right.
So if you are, simply put, red and blue, red personality, you always put facts before your feelings. So if
Right.
you are a yellow green person, more likely you build empathy organically,
Right.
much easier than other people. But thanks to the data and knowledge, now you know how to um, pretty much establish what you're not good at, or how you've been wired, so you can be able to adapt and
Right.
use the empathy in the full scale. So
Right.
that's how I would engage with the team, or the people, because empathy word and the way of building empathy and coaching, it's variable, depends on which environment and the culture you live in.
Okay. Yes. All right.
And
So,
I've learned this from the people I worked, from in hospitality industry, from different cultures, different countries.
right.
And when you are engaged with them, your understanding for them, empathy, it's completely different than to another person or another, the culture. Therefore,
Right.
you'll adapt, adjust, and deliver with the people you are dealing with, but always goes back to your character, life experience, and the
Right.
values.
Right. 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 So coming from the topic of technology and emotions and how you started your journey, let's come to a fun question. So if I said that if hospitality was a dish, what would it
Yeah.
be and why? Because you said you like
Uh,
cooking, you like creating memories, you like spending time with family. Yes, so let me
yeah.
let me ask you this.
Okay. So it's gonna go back to my Mediterranean, the blood. For
Right,
me, is a like a layered meze platter,
okay,
because it's diverse, because it's
right,
vibrant, and designed
right,
for sharing. It
okay,
reflects the richness of the culture, and the joy of the connection, and the beauty of variety, if you like. And
right,
it's my go-to tool for team integration, for
okay,
example, because um, ask who likes sushi, pizza, fish and chips, or curry. Suddenly, you bring
right,
so many people from
right,
different background in
right,
a common ground, because
right,
you're gonna find so many of them, they're gonna like pizza. at that
Right.
moment in time, it doesn't matter anymore, their differences. They, connected together because of
Right.
thanks to hospitality, food, drinks, as I said to you, brings the culture.
Okay.
So, yeah, for me, it's a meze platter because pretty much within the Mediterranean world, you can bring one element from different country, another element will be the element, but in essence, it's about sharing with your loved
Right.
ones or people
Right.
around. And yeah, for me, it's the layered, pretty much a meze platter sums it up.
Good answer. So basically, a dish that brings everyone together, which is the essence of hospitality, spending time with family, memory creations. Perfect. Perfect. So also talking about, as you mentioned, you have had the opportunity to have a lot of people, spend a lot of time with people over dinner or over a meal. So
Mhm.
if you could host a dinner with like three figures from the hospitality history or industry currently who you haven't been able to, who would you want it to be at your table? And are you serving the platter or is it going to be another dish specified after you recognize what they would like, what they would not like, what kind of mood they are in, and then, what would it be? Three people that
I
come to your
think
mind.
three people for me will be is the first Jerry Thomas, because
Okay,
you know as a world of the bartender, creator of
right,
the flair cocktails and everything you can think of about the the bar. Um,
right.
and when we say bar, don't think just where alcohol served. It's much bigger than
Right,
that. It
right.
sometimes can be tea, but you will have a tea bar to serve people. So it's a
Yes,
drink element to, the drink culture. Jerry Thomas, obviously the cocktail bartender, one of the most legendary person of our history. So I would like to have him on the table. Second thing will be it's got to be a chef, and my all-time one of the favorite chef is Alan Ducasse. I think he's
right,
managing 25 Michelin star,
right,
and I always in the awe how you deliver excellence as a extraordinary as a standard.
right.
So Alan Ducasse definitely will be have a chair in my table,
All right,
and in terms of in my hospitality, I'm going to talk about the the hotel and operation and the leadership. I probably would like to have Caesar Ritz, who's the
okay,
creator of the Hotel Ritz. So we've
right,
got basically pretty much a hospitality in three words for you. The concepts of hotel, the hotels with the Ritz
right,
started with the Caesar Ritz. We have a
right.
chef and we have a bartender. I think that table would be electric for me.
And what are you serving them? What cocktail are you serving them? What dish are you serving them? I
I think I wouldn't think one single dish, because that three people, they define the hospitality world from
True,
all part of the countries and cities and the cultures.
right,
So to pick just one dish, I will probably try to bring. I'll leave it to Alan Ducasse to decide. He's the
okay,
chef; he can
yes,
decide.
sure,
And I will ask Jerry Thomas to decide what drinks. He's the legend.
right,
And me and Caesar Ritz, we talk about the guest service elements and the
right,
operation and how to
right.
deliver it. So yeah, probably that will be. That's why I said it will be electric, because I
It
like to
would
have
be,
the yeah,
it would be.
yeah.
No, that's a great choice of people there because they're again all pioneers in their respective fields, and getting to sit in from them, learning from them, just will be very electric, as you said. Plus, also a lot of education going down from the teachers themselves, the starters, the people who started the trends
Yes.
themselves. So that would be great. Very well answered. So, coming from these little fun questions, there's another question, which now these are questions which I had, I've gone through your podcast, I've seen, you've done a couple of them prior. So, quoting you from some of them, some where you said a few things. So, in one of the podcasts, you said you always prepare for two levels above your current role.
Yes.
So how did that mind set shape your approach to the to opportunity and planning? I
Okay.
prepared two
So
roles. Yes.
so um, I go back to when I was started my journey as a bartender.
Mhm.
And from the childhood, I was, taught by my grandfather, um, managing, his own business and dealing with people and understanding the entrepreneurial drive, what it means, and build something from nothing. And that drive always, that resonated with me in terms of to have that desire to do well. And uh, I, I certainly don't want to deliver anything I do an average, because nobody remembers average. And
Right.
I was always pushing myself why I can do better. So I applied this philosophy to my career. And when I joined as a bartender, well respected, the concept and at the time. And when I was learning, the 200 cocktails they had in the, the training guide, and you have to do all this bottle touching practice and everything before they give you a station. And each service station, from the busy to, you start with the service station, and you give you the middle station when you are have the ability to deliver the service and the speed of service in the same time. So what I applied is, I wanted to grow in my career, and I know I was in charge, I was in control of my career, not other people or aspects. So what I've done is, if I'm a bartender, I don't learn how to become bar supervisor, because that's inevitable next step. So
Right.
I will look at, how am I going to become bar manager?
Right.
So when I reach the bar manager, I don't, the aspire or put my energy in terms of developing my myself, how to become, for example, from bar manager to general manager. No,
Right.
I would think about, okay, how am I going to become operations manager? So I won't
Right.
go to the next inevitable title. I will go to the one beyond.
Right. So you're preparing for the one which is not going to inevitably happen, but for the next. So you're almost like
Yes,
skipping a position, trying to
yes,
expedite the process of.
yeah,
Very. That's a very good mindset. Very good mindset
yeah.
to prepare
So
yourself.
what that allowed me is that understanding my next role much easier and adapt, because I was challenging myself to one next level
Right.
already.
Right.
And when you appreciate and learn, the couple of steps further, gives
Right.
you the understanding from the, the bigger picture. And
Right.
therefore, you understand why it's vital to succeed in your current role. So you
Right.
will have ability to engage with your team in the future. Now, if I haven't done the bartender job role, restaurant manager role, how am I going to engage with the people just by reading, leadership books? It's not going to give you the know-how, because it's completely different when you are in their world, in their environment, and to be able to speak when they got that line, then you can be able to influence the team. That's
Right.
how you can influence masses to ability to engage with them. So I think it's really, really important, put these two elements together and always prepare yourself, because you'll be surprised, unless you push yourselves, you will never know how far you can go. So
Right.
so you're thinking, the next role is in your pocket, you know it's
Uh,
inevitable.
But in today's world, where a lot of people are looking for validation, right,
Mhm.
for the very small, basic, minute things, and you are a person who is thinking or preparing for two levels above. So, as a chair of judges for Restaurant Manager of the Year, what qualities do winners possess that they often don't recognize in themselves just because they're looking for some kind of other validation and they're ignoring that, that recognizable winner they are within them? So, yeah, what qualities do these winners possess?
I think um, it's always about start and ends up with a character,
Okay,
because when you are going to any competition, and particularly if it's the hospitality, it's always about how you engage with people, the eye contact you do, how you make them feel.
right,
The rest is detail,
right,
because you don't go to the restaurant and thinking this restaurant manager knows 2000 wines
right,
and with entire whole details. this is just a minor side of it. It's all about understanding what you are surrounded with. And I got fascinated as, they are a colleague of mine, because I've done their job and
Right.
I love being restaurant manager for years.
Right.
Therefore, I'm always in the awe. Every single year and every single period, hospitality brings different challenges. Therefore, mostly you will look at the airlines and the
Right.
hospitality always come up with the first innovative ideas to
True.
overcome this, the challenges. And you look at the restaurant manager, what challenges they have had within their environment, workplace, and what they've done to overcome these challenges, whether it will be financial, whether it will be, the operational standard, whether it will be, the margin control, whether it will be in terms of the guest service, the audits or the experiences,
Right.
regardless. And you know very well, every single year we have different challenges regarding hospitality business
Right.
and what comes with it. Therefore, you will look at the people will shine out. The end of the day, for me, is
Definitely.
that not looking at what they have missed, is celebrating what they have achieved. Because being a restaurant manager every day, during the live show, it's not
Right.
like, the actor and actresses, they go to the theater once a week and they,
Right.
or maybe 3 months a year, they will just
Right.
deliver that performance. When you're a restaurant manager, you every single day, 5 days a week, you are performing. So it's incredible the amount of experiences they will have. So the personality is number one,
Right.
and you look at how they come up with the solutions to their problems, how they influence a team. I always ask my question, would I want to work with Kevin if he's my restaurant manager? And
Right.
if the answer is yes, it's almost you are there, right? Because,
Right. Right.
you know, um, this is all about the restaurant managers, how they carry themselves and seeing their passion, seeing their determination in different ways. It brings each year different dynamic
Right.
because you realize, you learn restaurant manager for the pub, restaurant manager for fine dining, restaurant manager for the high street concept. And
Right.
they're all maybe delivering completely different experiences, but in essence, you will find the common goals, what they are going through
Right.
every single day to, to satisfy the guest and have financial control and accountability
Right.
um, to have a team. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a one single thing, but if I break it down, absolutely the leadership and their personality and their experiences defines one element of it. Obviously, you'll have scenario, you'll be given scenarios to
Right.
for the financial side. You will be interviewed for the people, the about selling yourself to tell
Right.
what you're good at.
Right.
And it's amazing how powerful when you look at somebody in the eye and say, tell me what you're good at.
Right. 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 So, talking, that you mentioned operations and character building, and you see how it is, how the environment is, how suitable it is to work for. So, you being having worked with independent restaurants and corporates,
Mhm.
could you name, like, tell me three non-negotiables that would define your ideal hospitality work environment?
Um, First thing will be for me is the trust. Trust really important. If you're taking the restaurant manager role,
Right.
it's absolutely vital to be trusted
Right.
because when you are a restaurant manager, you're also responsible from entire whole premises and everything, not just kitchen, not just front of
Right.
house,
Right.
not just maintenance, not just marketing,
Right.
everything comes with it. So trust by the line manager if you are in corporate, or trust by the owner, because you
Right.
are there to do the role.
Right.
And without the trust, you cannot be able to perform well, because
Right.
you're always gonna doubt yourself, because if I'm trusted, I can be able to make mistakes easily with the comfort of knowing,
Right.
because
True.
every time I'm going to make mistakes, I want to have the trust of the owner to think, okay, I'm trying something new, that's why I'm failing,
Right.
or I'm
Right.
trying something to do better. And obviously, if you don't have that trust, it will impact your business.
Right.
So that this is just to saying the trust is not enough. That's why I'm giving you an example to understand in
Right.
restaurant world what trust means
True.
as a leader.
True. True.
And
True.
when you are trusted, that means you are empowered, and you will have the confidence to go and make mistakes, but also try something new.
Right.
Because for me, second most important thing is to have, the open-minded, lean towards the change.
Right. Right.
If the corporate or the owner or owners of the restaurants, if they are not leaning towards the change, no
Right.
matter how much trust they gave you, and if you've been
Right.
controlled, time goes by, you will fade away. Because
True.
in everything you do, if we don't lean towards the change, and if we don't embrace it, we will stay behind. So we have to keep up with the current demand of the guest, current demand of the team members, current demand of the environment and the business. And without change, you can't adapt.
True. True.
So
True.
even if you run in 40 years, the typical restaurants owned by, the same family, that doesn't mean you need to change the menu every single day. No, you have to have your classic dishes, but
Right.
understanding your community, because you serve community. If your
Right.
community is changing, if your community is changing and evolving, and if you not adapt towards your community, you have no business.
That's a
So
very good point you made. If I could state it in another way, the only definitive inevitable thing to happen is change. And if we do
yeah,
not progress with change, very well said, we will fade out, or that particular thing will fade out with time. So, yes, I totally agree with that. That is a very strong point. We'll keep that in mind. That change, yes. People, I have seen a lot of places, eateries, which are very famous because they have been long running, but because they couldn't change with the market trends or maybe the dining service, like we have QSR now and so on, they have slowly faded away. There are restaurants and people who have come and overtaken them. So that's a very good point you made. Yes.
I
So
think from my, the learnings, I would love to be able to see any performance review involved that restaurant managers basically judged by how many mistakes or failure they did.
I don't think so. There's any such review that at least I've come across or in the structure I am working, but a very good point. That would make things more efficient, more open, more places where problem solving could take place and be more progressive for the business. But yeah, that's a very good idea. Uh, Good point. So, my next question to you would be that you have so much experience in hospitality. There's so many things you're coming from. There are awards which you have, as I mentioned in the beginning of the podcast when I was introducing you, the awards you have won, the programs you have started, the initiating of Bye Circle, which is people do not understand it a lot, but this massive platform which has come in sooner or later down the line, maybe if you had to write a hospitality manifesto, for the
Yeah,
future leaders,
yeah.
what would its first lines tend to be like, or the first paragraph?
I think it's got to be start with, you have to learn, adapt, or implement. Doesn't matter which one. Therefore,
Right,
when you're going to lead with empathy, has to be, the elements of, doesn't matter how your character, whether your strong point or areas you need to improve, you have to lead with, the empathy. And I'm always, operation person. That's why you work in hospitality. You don't
right,
go to, we're not in the industry. You will have one table, one desk, and you spend your 20, 30 years. And I've got huge respect for people who can be able to do. I cannot do it. I'll have a heart attack. So second thing will be for me is to operate with the precision. So lead with empathy, operate with precision, and never forget the power of the smile or warm welcome.
Right.
That will be
Right.
my simple line. And yeah, because operate with precision, it brings you the standards and give you that sharp focus and understanding, and you have to deliver it with the power of warm welcome and the smile.
Right.
Because
Definitely.
if I look at you in the eye and smile, what you do, you smile back. As simple as that. That's hospitality in one
Right.
line.
Right. 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 So very interesting on the three things you said, and how's your take on it. Uh, Tell me, what's a widely accepted practice in the hospitality industry that you believe is harmful to probably employees or guest experience that maybe the industry is not addressing? Because you have seen the industry from the perspective of a person who's working back of house, the person who's working at service, a restaurant manager, a group of restaurants manager, and now you're heading a whole platform which is exclusively catering to such a high demand in the UK. So any practice that you think or you have seen or which you might again, this is something you may want to answer, may not want to answer.
I think without thinking, with political agenda, I feel government has huge responsibility support the hospitality industry. Especially, we are the third biggest, the contributor to the whole economy,
Right,
and not to be able to have the, important support for people to respect culturally within the time of hospitality job. It's not like if you are in France, if you are a waiter, it's very, very respected profession.
right,
However, in UK, hospitality jobs, they are not, respected profession, and yet entire whole, the human beings, the desire to receive hospitality. So for me, it's not about what I worry about. It's about thinking the future and building something meaningful, hospitality, very commercial, in terms of GDPR, it's non-avoidable
right,
entity. I don't feel, I don't feel we are understanding as a politicians how hospitality is important for, the for our country. But in a global stage, when you look at it, hospitality, it's been undermined by the countries, the government, and it's not fully supported to reach, the a potential, because it can bring culturally and financially huge amount of, the potential of growth and development through the hospitality. And that will be my, the common line, because everything else, then corporates, the
right,
or if it's not corporate, single entity, the businesses, the entrepreneurs, they can thrive in that environment, because especially when you look at the two biggest, history's biggest crisis of financial crisis and a pandemic. In financial crisis, everybody lost a job and they were
right,
coming to hospitality to work, to make
right,
living. When you
right,
had the pandemic, when it comes out, everybody's was working, started with, with hospitality, because they have to bring the bread to the table. Therefore, I would like to see the MP to have, the full hospitality, and because when that happens, then you can be able to address the issues in each country, but also you can be able to, develop a plan for future. and that's only going to be a good thing, because my simple question is, everybody goes to university, work in hospitality to make living.
Definitely, definitely, yes. A lot of them, majority of them. So
Yeah,
not only that, I think even during the pandemic, the world did find itself a lot of new cooks,
yeah,
a lot of people coming up with strange recipes, some nice
yes,
recipes, some very strange recipes,
yeah.
but it did get the cook bit out in everyone.
My mindset will be, is my message will be simply not talking about the concern and negativity, talking about positivity, how we can be able to overcome and fade
Right,
out the negativity and the concerns
right,
about what we're going to do now for the future, and how we
right,
can be able to come up with the solution to all these problems, rather
right,
than talk about what will worries me. It's not
right,
gonna, it's not gonna resolve anything.
right,
And I'd much rather talk about the positivity, what government can be able to help to hospitality industry so
right,
we can do more good, rather
right,
than talk about negative. And yeah, I feel much better to talk about solution,
right,
what we can
right,
do better.
uh,
And that's why I always
right.
say hospital is a way of life, not just a job. So the same thing I wanted to share with everybody is, as long as you enjoy what you're doing, whether you are motivated by money or progress or career, it doesn't matter. As long as you're progressing, you're doing well, you're performing well, you're going to be able to grow. So if you wanted to be successful, if you wanted to make more money, you have to be successful and develop yourself.
Right.
So either way, you're going to go through the same journey
True.
and land in the same place, but from different angles.
And
So that will be my approach. Um, that's so far what I have experienced. I don't know how much of it is true. I would like to think, I don't know anything. I'm learning something every day. And that's the fascinating thing about our industry.
definitely, definitely. Bringing this podcast to an end, very educative, very nice talking to you. My last question to you would be one message left by Alper Zan in a time capsule for the hospitality professionals, say 50 years from now, where we do not even know, where there probably be a robot serving us, or maybe just it appearing out of thin air. I do not know. We've seen movies, and that's how you just imagine it to be. But what wisdom would you want these professionals to discover?
I think what I have experienced with the people around me is that I would like to always to be someone who spread positivity with the passion and energy towards the hospitality industry. And I love to be able to influence others and light up, give them that spark, the off a passion. Um, and I like to be contribute towards redefining operational excellence. The challenge and constantly myself, my team, and the surroundings to deliver better, and probably hopefully influence the next generation to lead with heart and strategy. You can't just have strategy, the technology and everything else. You can't just operate or leader with the heart. So balance of both, hopefully, um, generation to lead with both. And if I can be recognized with any of those elements, I feel very privileged and lucky.
Very good, very good. That's a nice message to be left. So thank you so much, Alpha, for being with us on this podcast and giving your time. It was a really pleasure to have you. I'm sure a lot of the people who will be listening into this podcast, the young professionals who have to come further down the line, would learn a lot from here, would understand that while you are heading a very prominent platform in the UK, not only in the UK, but you're tied up with globally with YY Circle, you also are very keen and inclined towards tradition, sympathy, empathy, these certain things which are just, in today's world are being blown out of a lot of industries, which if would just, have a little bit more of this, would be probably more successful. So thank you so much for your time
My
today.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much, Kevin. Have a good day.
You too.